Here it is. Nice purple one here. Well, that's beautiful. Look at that kohlrabi. Guten Yardening, everybody. It is a balmy 26 degrees out on the 26th of December. And we're here by our hoop house because we're going to uncover and see how well the vegetables underneath were protected. To be honest, we've had temperatures as low as 5 degrees Fahrenheit at night, which is about minus 15 Celsius. So what does 3 mil of plastic offer in terms of protection? We're gonna unscrew it up and find out. Come on. Well, on the positive side of life, everything in here is still really nice and green, but you can see the cold has hit it pretty good. It's flattened out a good bit. This spinach still looks really nice. We're gonna be able to harvest a good bit of spinach here. We'll get that in the freezer. Yeah, everything is still green. There's not a lot of development that's happened since the last time we were in here. Again, that 3 mil plastic didn't provide the best in terms of insulation, but we still have some nice kohlrabi in here. You can see it right here. We still have some nice kohlrabi to harvest. So we'll get that kohlrabi out of the ground, but we're gonna pull every usable piece of veggie out of here and see what a December 26th harvest here in Zone 5 looks like. All right, let's take a look at this spinach. All right, you know when a green freezes really hard and then it gets that limp feeling like it's not going to be usable? That is not the case with this spinach. So far, and this is very early on, that 3 mil plastic seems to have done a pretty good job. We're just going to go ahead and harvest these plants out by the bottom. They're not going to develop any further, and so we're going to take them out of the ground and pull off the usable pieces as we go. Benefits of growing this cold weather veggie is that, again, January, almost January, we're coming out here and I'm pulling in fresh greens. This is some of our broccoli, and it never had time to develop, but these greens also look really nice. So I'm gonna, again, pull these out. If you've been following our channel for any length of time, you'll know that we've moved inside. We've moved inside already, and so this is really, I guess, the bonus to see what we can get from this fall garden. And our earlier front garden space we planted a little bit late, maybe about 2 weeks late, and I think we're in the same boat here in terms of development, overall development. That cold came along, so if we had been able to plant a little bit earlier, we'd probably been better off. Check that out. That is a cabbage worm caught frozen. Look at that. Just trying to survive. We are going to pull up all of this. You can see the beginnings of some purple kohlrabi here, and the ground in here is getting pretty rough. It's not fully frozen. When I try to pull this one up, there's not much development there, maybe about 3/4 of an inch. When I tried to pull this up, the root didn't come with it. And these seem to be breaking off really fast. Nothing wrong with this spinach at all. It's kind of exciting. It's been so cold out here recently, we weren't sure what to expect. This is the strawberry spinach, and you can see as I pull this up, I mean, there's the ice on the ground. Some of these leaves are in great shape. A lot of these leaves, not so much. So that'll take a little bit of time to separate out the good from the bad. We've never harvested this strawberry spinach before, so that'll be a Guten Yardening first. Everything I'm harvesting today would have a pretty short shelf life, I think, because of the exposure to this extreme cold. So we're gonna get it cleared up and put in the freezer as quickly as possible. But a lot of these leaves are so huge and they still feel great. Look at how this strawberry spinach spreads out. Those leaves on the outer side should have been harvested much earlier. I think we probably could have saved a good many of them if we had come out here earlier, but again, yeah, that's part of the experiment. We don't want to waste food though. but we still got some nice leaves on the inside. So once more, I'm just going to gather it all together, harvest the whole thing, add to our vermiculture setup anything that needs to go in the vermiculture. This area of spinach is the area I was most interested in because of these huge leaves, absolutely massive leaves of spinach. And you can see some damage here. That's not going to be any good. Not going to waste anything though. We will definitely be feeding our worms. Feeding our worms or adding to our compost pile. Anything we can do to allow what we're growing to feed us in multiple ways, we'll know that's a success. These are our Brussels sprouts that didn't develop. Let's see what greens we can pull from here, if any, and we can still eat. Just like that. Gotta tell you, my hands are quite cold. It is not warm out here at all. You know what I'm noticing? This smaller spinach is faring much better than the bigger spinach, and I wonder why that is. That is luscious still. All right, I can already tell, just looking at these beets, that they did not develop. There's still some nice beet greens though. So we're gonna take these in and use them for the greens. Those taste great. Added to salad. They taste great in smoothies if you like that flavor. So we'll get all these pulled up. All right, you can see the greens of the daikon radish are not happy. You can see the ground here has frozen a good deal. So if the frost has really gotten in here and gotten to these, you might find that there's not much good left on them. Yeah, these are toast. So this area, at least that one in particular, well, the ground's frozen probably 3 or 4 inches down. It's not so bad. Right in here, I mean, I can still get through it a little bit, you can see. But I have a sneaking suspicion these daikon radishes are just not quite as frost hardy. You can see the size we were getting here, but this one has frost damage all the way down. So this area, not a success. We'll chalk that up to future knowledge. We won't be leaving our daikon radishes out this long at all. We don't want to waste anything. That being said, if you've enjoyed our channel so far, if you've enjoyed this video, we invite you to go ahead and give us a like and let us know. All right, what we have left down here are our kohlrabi. These are really nice and cold hardy. You can see the leaves here are in great shape, so we can eat those. These greens, we'll pull up one here. We developed, what we got? About a 2-inch diameter, 1.5 to 2-inch diameter kohlrabi. Not huge, but it'll still be nice and tasty inside. So we'll harvest the rest of these. I know there's at least one. Yep, here it is. Nice purple one here. Well, that's beautiful. Look at that kohlrabi. That's probably the biggest one. We actually did pretty well, I think, with our purple kohlrabi in here. All right, I pulled up the kohlrabi here, the ones that were still growing down here. And you can see they're not huge, but a pretty good size. So we'll be able to get these inside. And you know, while I'm at it, I still have a few kohlrabi and a few other plants left in our front garden space. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those out of the ground as well. I don't think there's much point leaving anything out now that the temps are as extreme as they are. You might be able to see one of the side effects of harvesting this late in the season. My hands are numb. They're red and they're numb. It's so cold out, but I think I've got just about everything out of the hoop house area and then what was left in our front yard and space. So now the process is to go inside and process them, get them ready, and then I'll show you what I just got from our harvest. Stay tuned. A few hours after the harvest, you know, it takes some time to process through everything, but as always, that time is very well spent. So you can see we have a whole bunch of kohlrabi in here. Now, because this kohlrabi got so cold out there and likely won't store well, we're going to go ahead and trim it all up and go ahead and blanch it, and then we'll freeze it. So we'll be able to use it in our soups, Some beautiful, delicious spinach. These are our beet greens. So many different greens here. A couple of cabbages, a couple of heads of cabbage from the front yard. And they didn't get that big, but they're going to be delicious. All of this as we head into January here in Zone 5. You know what really makes it all worthwhile? To put this food into the garden and to see the results. This is by far the latest we've ever harvested anything outside, and that makes this a success. There were some wilted leaves out there. We're going to feed those to our worms. Nothing's going to get wasted. This, I would say, is a pretty fantastic harvest. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give us a like, leave us a comment, remember to share and subscribe, and most importantly, remember, when you're with us, you are good to grow.